if the pool is muddy, first you need to, let the pool settle down, the mud settle down. When it becomes clear, then you can see the depth, Before that you cannot. So similarly, before you can understand, understand, apply it in your life, there's nothing wrong with that. It will definitely be a great assist to you, even if you are a non-believer, let's say. But to deeply understand it, for example, right now, our mind, is, right now, first, so that's why let's say, let's go step by step. First step will be, building up sense of, renunciation. Renunciation, again, we are talking about the inner renunciation, Inner renunciation doesn't necessarily mean leaving the home and going to the mountains. We are talking about renouncing anger, renouncing the attachment, renouncing the not the things but attachment to the things, or renouncing, again, we are not, attachment and caring is something that is different. Renouncing the jealousy, renouncing the negative emotions, and consequently the negative the afflictions, negative actions. So when that renunciation has been diminishes, the positive mind, the compassion and understanding automatically rise up simultaneously. And then, so between the development of, the inner renunciation and development of positive qualities will be from the 6 paramitas will be the 5 paramitas. And when then, your mind will be reaching a stage, where, for example, if your inner renunciation is quite strong, then unlike right now, where you'll be, when you're trying to meditate a little bit to see the nature of your mind, either because of your, attachment, or, you'll be going out to something, imagining something beautiful, going, thinking about something, desirable things, desirable things to do, desirable position to get, it will be outward, or, with a vengeance or anger or whatever, it will be projected outside, or jealousy, or ego, pride, egoistic, or just, you cannot even sit still for, 1 minute. And then to talk about, the meditating on emptiness, it's a joke. I mean, we can definitely see it's not possible. Understanding, yes, but to deeply understand, how can you look at the nature of your mind when your mind cannot even remain, for a few seconds on, on anything. So once the inner renunciation has been built up, the concentration mind will automatically develop. And then, that concentration is used as a searchlight to look inside your mind and see, that all the things that you see, all the things that you hear, all the things that you feel, is it exist as it appears to be? Then the understanding of the, the inner madhyamika will come. This is from the practice point of view. Let's try and make it, a little bit more simple, easy to understand. For example, the paramitas, the 6 paramitas. First paramita, Buddha always said it, the practice of the generosity. Practice of the generosity is not only to accumulate, merit. That is not the only purpose that it serves. More than the, I will say, the practice of generosity, accumulation of merit, is to, minimize our attachment. Minimize our attachment to, so that's why, when you are offering, either, you should be, for example, you cannot offer in real, maybe, but you can visualize offering, to the Buddhas or whatever. If you are very difficult, there are some practice where you can give from your left hand to right hand, and right hand to left hand also. These are also, practicing, practicing in what you call the non-attachment. So when you practice, and then talking about visualization, when you're offering to the Buddha, you should be not only offering the general things like flower, but whatever is most precious to you, or whoever is most precious to you, or what either is your position, whatever, should be the one that you should be visualizing again and again, offering to the, the Buddhas. It's not because Buddha needs, what is so precious to you. Enlightened beings don't need anything, they are beyond attachment. beyond these dualistic things, But you are definitely need to offer, because whatever is you are most attached to is the one that will give you the most suffering, the most pain, the most sort of worry, fear, hope, fear, all these things are. So that's why, by visualizing, offering that, your attachment will become much, much less, So that is why the practice of generosity is always in the first, the paramita of generosity. And we don't have to worry that, if we offer, Buddha might actually take it or something like that, There's no need to worry about that. Actually, by offering it, from the merit point of view, you'll be getting even, the return back to you 1,000 times more. From the mental point of view, you will be enjoying or appreciating in a very relaxed sort of, relaxed manner, without, so much of, the grasping. None of us likes grasping. We don't like grasping friend also. We don't like grasping, family, grasping husband. None of us like that. None of us like to, so others also don't like it, So that, so anyway, so once that attachment has gone down, then, recommended to practice the second paramita, paramita of morality, which is mainly, not harming others and harming yourself. For example, killing. If your attachment has not gone down, and for example, you have to take a vow of not killing, and you are and you are attached to the money, you are attached to all these things, and your business is maybe a restaurant or hotel, Of course, you cannot take the vow because to you the money is so important. How can you cannot compromise on that. But if before the practice of generosity has gone before it, attachment will be down. I say, okay, yes, my happiness comes from contentment, appreciation, not from these external things. Yes, I can take a vow, I can restrain from harming others, no problem. Practice of morality will be easy. When the non-attachment and restraint is easy, forbearing the harm they do is very easy also. For example, you are not attached to the faith. You understand that, If some people are saying good things about you, there's no need to be egoistic. There are so many people saying bad things about you. If people are saying bad things about you, don't be sad, There are others saying good things about you, So again, remain in the madhyamika, remain in equanimity. So when you have that understanding, people say bad things about you, it is much more easier to forbear, have forbearance. Forbearance paramita will be easy. Then after that, joyful effort, Joyful effort means happily, practicing Dharma, happily, what do you call it, developing love and compassion, with happily, doing it, happily effort, joyful effort, will automatically come. Usually when you see the Dharma, Dharma is difficult at the beginning and very enjoyable or very, what do you call it, very full of happiness at the end. For example, maybe it's very difficult for you to control your temper or something like that, or you to visualize, pre-generosity. But when you see the result of, you're controlling your anger, how much peace of mind that you get, how many more you get along with the family better, wherever you go in society, how much you feel better, how much love and you receive, it is, the result will be much, much better. The samsara is opposite, I always jokingly say, samsara is very pleasurable at the beginning and very suffering at the end, One good example I always say jokingly, is, marriage, It's, also, one good example, very nice in the beginning, very difficult, or maybe not, Yeah, let's talk. Continuing with the joyful effort, for example, spiritual development will, actually not make you poorer, but actually, make you appreciate more what you have. For example, if you have an understanding of, what do you call it, non-attachment, or let's say understanding less of equanimity, and people are, you are something very good things are happening to you, people are praising you, also you appreciate it, you respect that, yes, very much, thank you, you appreciate it. But tomorrow, it is not there, of course, that also, doesn't bother it so much, because, you appreciated it, ignored it at the same time, you understood it, understood the nature of the, the fame, nature of the praise and blame, how it works. Because if today people are praising you, yes, you can appreciate it, happy. Tomorrow they are not, or tomorrow something negative come about you. If there's something you can do, yes, If there's nothing you can do, what's the use worrying about it and going through suffering, It's said by Shanti Deva, said very clearly, If there's something you can do about it, go ahead and do it. Don't worry. If there's nothing you can do about it, there's nothing you can do about it. Don't worry. Also don't worry. So that's why I'm saying understanding of the spiritual understanding, outsidely, whether you become really religious or not. And actually, sometimes when I see some Vajrayana people, who are supposed to be, carrying a lot of ceremonial daggers and too much emphasis on, external things, too much, then I don't know whether it's really recommended. And so, basically what I'm saying is that I'm not saying that's wrong or right or wrong. What I'm saying with all the external these things, inner understanding is very important to go together. Otherwise, there will be no transformation of the mind, no joyful effort will never come. You are just doing something external things, that's it. For example, in Vajrayana, we have a lot of Buddha, male and female Buddha in union. We have a ceremonial jagger. So together with these things, understanding has to go. For example, the union, of the Buddha or whatever when you talk for union in the Vajrayana, what union they are talking about is the union of Madhyamika, where the both extremes of the yes and no, they are both the true Madhyamika is beyond two extremes. That is a union, union of two extremes. Or you can say non-dualistic, non-dualistic, that's what we are talking about. Ceremonial daggers, they represent the non-dualistic wisdom or the Madhyamika wisdom, cutting away our dualistic thoughts. Dualistic thought of, extreme either, yes or no, or, either we have a sense of, this is pain or suffering, or this is good and bad. We have so many dualistic thoughts, like I said, concepts reflected from either you as a good friend or bad friend. All these are all dualistic thoughts. So these has to be cut by the wisdom of non-dualistic. So this is what it represents. But people, if they don't understand it, then it can be very misleading and also not very beneficial. So this is just anyway. Then so when the joyful effort will come automatically. And then, the mindfulness, the concentrated mind, of course, definitely comes. Because for you, happiness is not something lying outside. Lying is something beautiful, or thinking about something negative, or, out of anger. Your minds are definitely, not going towards, many of the external things. Definitely, mind will automatically be much more easier to have a concentration mind. And then, you can use, with that concentration mind, you will have the time to look inward, Then you will realize the six, the Prajnaparamita or the Madhyamika or Mahamudra. Right now, when we have, for example, when anger arises in us, or desire arises in us, we have no time to, look at what is anger, Is anger something with a, leg and arm? Where is anger coming from? Does anger exist? Is there a substance to it? We have no time to think this thing. Automatically we are reacting, from anger to maybe, boxing, maybe in a few seconds we already reached there. But there's no inward checking at all. There's this, Master Shanti Deva said, that actually thinking, if you understand well, all the, the afflictive emotions, they are not somebody armed with the, the weapons and, armies and, very strong. They are hiding in your ignorance. If you search for it, neither are they strong, nor are they with the limbs, nor are they something so strong that you cannot overcome it. It is only your ignorance, which is protecting them, which is, making them so strong. Just understand understand it, you will overcome it. So it is not so something, So, then we will have again time to, where we say, where Vajrayana says, all the five negative emotions are wisdom, we say. It does not mean that anger itself is wisdom. That's not what we are saying. Of course, nobody is that stupid. We are saying, Vajrayana saying that anger also doesn't exist as it appears to be. Anger also, nature of anger is also, madhyamika, emptiness, and that is wisdom, and that is Buddha. So similarly, five emotions we are talking about, this is, how to, what you call, how it, comes about.